Hey everybody, Sarah Taylor here, and I'm so excited that all of you guys are hopping on tonight. Thank you for guys so much for spending your Monday night with us here at Plexus. I have been with Plexus for about 4.5 years now, and I live in Houston, Texas with my husband and our two kids. And I'm going to share with you guys a little bit about both my business experience as well as my product experience, because they are both equally life-changing for me personally, and I really can't share one without the other. So first of all, do I have any skeptics here? Just raise your hand, put an emoji down there. You guys, I was the biggest skeptic known to man. It was so bad. I was so skeptical about network marketing, and I was also very skeptical about the products. But I mean, my husband and I came from a college-educated background. We came from a background in the corporate field, and to be brutally honest, I thought network marketing was just completely beneath me. And I know that some of you guys can relate to that as well. But I also grew up in a household where my mother was a nutritionist. And so I was equally skeptical about supplements and everything surrounding health and wellness. I was a very natural, holistic-minded person. And seeing my friends post about diet pills and quick fixes, or so I thought, online was not something at all that I wanted any part of. So that's not the part that I was drawn to at all. I was super skeptical about that. And when I clicked shop 4.5 years ago, I had actually watched and observed for over 7 months. And that turned out to be one of my biggest regrets in this whole thing. But I did. I was super skeptical. And I watched my friends share testimony after testimony, which made me even more skeptical, because I was like, how can one little pink drink do all of these things for all these different kinds of people? And so during the time that I was watching, during that 7 months, and during actually even before then, I was coming through one of the hardest seasons of life that I had faced to date. And I'm sure that you guys can relate to some of what I'm about to talk about. But you guys, my husband and I, we were doing really well in our corporate careers. We were both making over 6 figures. We were super successful. We were career-minded, driven people. And he came home after months of being unhappy in his career and decided that he wanted to change his career entirely, go back and get his get a different certification, and he wanted to become a financial advisor. And I don't know if you guys know anything about that role or that industry, but nothing is handed to you. You have to build it from the ground up. You start at the bottom, you're commission only, you go through tons of training and certifications, all that type of stuff. But you start out cold calling, and you start out building your book of business with no salary whatsoever. It's totally commission based. But we thought we could handle it because I was doing really well in my career, and we knew that we could make it just on my salary alone while he built everything up. So what we didn't foresee was when I got pregnant with our daughter, we didn't expect that I was going to have so many complications. And it turned out that I ended up having to leave my job. 20 weeks into my pregnancy, I went on full bed rest, and I couldn't go to my job. Lots of stuff happened with it, which I won't get into, but I couldn't continue on. And so suddenly we're going from 2 6-figure salaries down to 1 full-time commission job. So we went from making 2 6-figure salaries to making almost nothing. And I'm sure you guys have been through those like completely knock you off your feet, life throws you a curveball types of scenarios before. And to top it all off, it was at a season where we were about to be parents for the first time. And it was terrifying because we still had those same bills that we had when we were making the 2 6-figure salaries, right? But that part didn't change. We didn't sell our house. We didn't sell our cars. We were still living that kind of a lifestyle. And things got really, really tight. And I'm trying real hard not to cry at this part, but this is where it gets really, really hard for me. So 4 weeks before I had my daughter, I had her prematurely. My father actually died very unexpectedly. And I had my daughter, and he never got to meet any of his grandchildren. And then 2 months later, our nephew died, and he died in a car accident. And to say I was an emotional mess was an understatement. I suffered through absolutely everything that you guys might think would happen postpartum, and we ended up getting pregnant with another baby, and we lost the baby. And then just a month later, we got pregnant with my son. And what we didn't see, we had just started to kind of get ahead of our bills. We just started to kind of get ahead of everything. And I was put on bed rest again with my son much earlier this time. And I was on bed rest the whole entire time. He was born very, very early at 30 weeks, and he was a NICU baby. And at that point in time, Gavin had built up a really solid business as a financial advisor. We were finally chipping away at all that credit card debt, but having a NICU baby, I'm sure some of you guys have been there, and we didn't have the best insurance. Our medical bills went just through the roof, and we had more debt than we were making in an entire year at that point. And I don't know about you guys, but that is the most suffocating and terrifying feeling in the world, to know that you just can't get ahead. And these weren't choices that we had necessarily made. It wasn't like we had gone on spending sprees or anything like that. We were just living life and trying to take care of our babies. And so it's during that time that Jamie, my friend, started posting about Plexus on Facebook. And I was struggling really, really hard mentally. I was struggling to be a present mom. I was exhausted. I was irrational. I was suffering through some really tough mental issues, and I was up all night long with my son Carson, breastfeeding, living by the coffee pot, dealing with chronic yeast infections, weight gain, just really struggling to control my emotions. And I was super, super overwhelmed, to say the least. And over the course of that time, I also gained a lot of weight. I think I said that, but my husband started to be very, very concerned with my mental state, and he started leaving psychologist numbers on the counter and on the nightstand, on my nightstand. And the only reason that I tried these products, I researched them because I wanted to make sure that nothing in them was going to hurt me, or I needed to be around for my kids, and so it's super important that they were natural. So I researched them, but I only started them for weight loss. I didn't start them for anything else. And it was when I clicked that shop button that day, became a customer, and it was out of pure desperation for change. I wanted that energy, and I wanted to feel good about myself again. And I felt like feeling good about myself again would help me conquer the rest of this stuff that I was dealing with, right? I'm sure some of you guys have been there before. But the first month of me being a customer, you guys, it completely changed my life. And I'm going to tell you something shocking. I actually gained weight that first month, okay? But you guys, I stuck with it because over the course of that month, I started having so much more energy. I stopped drinking all that coffee. I stopped with the insomnia. But the point in my journey when I knew that there was light at the end of the tunnel, and I knew that these products were my answer, is when my little girl said to me, she said, "Mommy, you're so fun now." And for me, that was just that moment where I had been struggling so much. We all want to be the best mom that we can possibly be. We all want to be that person, and we all want to be present. And that's when it all came to me. I was like, I've got to stay on these products. This is the only thing I've changed. I'm actually playing with my kids now. I'm being present with my kids. I'm not just counting down the minutes till Gavin gets home. And so my husband and I decided that we were going to sign up for the discount, but I wasn't going to make this a business because, you guys, I was still that skeptical about this as a business. But what did happen is I started to share with my friends and family because they couldn't help but notice the difference in me. And literally everybody that was around me saw a difference, and they wanted to know what I was doing. And so I kind of like to say that I became an accidental network marketer. And I eventually did decide to share my experience with social media and the rest of the world, and the rest is history. I shared just my experience and my personal friends' experiences on these products, and I was passionate about it because I saw the changes in me and I saw the changes in my friends. And when I got my first check, you guys, it covered not only my products, but it covered my car payment and our mortgage as well. And this was a time in our lives when $50 was a game changer. This wasn't a time where we were doing amazing financially. We were struggling. And so for it to cover our mortgage and our car payments, that's when Gavin and I knew we were onto something much bigger than just the products. And it wasn't one of those scams where you sign up and you end up losing money. That's what I was so worried about. We didn't have to carry that inventory. I didn't have to have parties and spend time away from my house with my kids. And not only that, the biggest part for me was that I was doing something that was good for other people. Me sharing the products was helping my friends. Me sharing the products or sharing the business opportunity was actually helping other people. And the testimonies from the people that I was sharing with were rolling in like crazy. They were huge health testimonies. And not only that, I ended up dropping all my weight. And I started getting control of the health issues that I was having and my mental issues. I had been diagnosed with a gut dysbiosis at the age of 17, and I had tried every probiotic under the sun. And the Plexus system is the only thing that has worked for me. And in 6 months, I was back to my college weight. So that was pre-baby weight, college weight, pre-marriage weight, all of it. And so the best part about this for me, I mean, my mental health is just, that was incredible. But Gavin took his this opportunity, the Plexus opportunity, to his bosses at JP Morgan, and he asked them to get approved for outside activity. As a financial advisor, he was very successful in his role, and he was handling very high net worth clients for them and their top tier clients. So it was a big deal for him to start something like this. And so can you imagine, he had to go in there and sit down with his boss that manages $1 billion book of business and talk to him about, you know, this network marketing opportunity that his wife is starting, and he had to get that approved. Well, he did, and 2 years after getting that approval, he was able to retire from his job at JP Morgan, and he stays home with me and our kids now. And we are gifting our kids with 2 present parents, and that has been the biggest unexpected blessing. I can tell you, there is no part of me that would have thought that that would have happened. We both get to take them to school. We both get to have lunch. We go to field day, and we never have to request off from a vacation. The time and financial freedom that this company has afforded to us has been a blessing straight from God, and we get to call the shots now. We set our schedule. And not only that, that snowball of debt that we were dealing with is a thing of the past. And for us, that is such a huge weight lifted off. But I just want to implore you guys, sometimes God's blessings, they come in the most surprising ways. And I never thought that network marketing would be my gig. I never thought that this would be something that I would do. But I will tell you what, my biggest driver is, and always will be, always has been, impacting others fills my cup. It is the most fulfilling thing about this. And when you marry an incredible comp plan with life-changing products, like products that literally you walk into a room and every single person in that room needs, you're able to impact others so profoundly in their lives. You're able to help them. I've helped people with major health concerns overcome them. I've helped executives retire and stay home with their kids. I've helped moms leave their corporate jobs to stay home with their children. And I've helped those wanting to remain in their career to have a plan B and a slush fund and a backup plan for their career. And I've helped so many save for retirement as well, or simply just afford groceries and date nights. So I encourage you guys to just think about this. When I said yes to Plexus, I said yes to freedom, but I also said yes to fulfillment. And I'm so glad that I got over myself and I became open-minded about this. And I just want to implore you guys to give this a solid look, talk to the person that invited you here, and take a chance on yourself, because you're it. Thank you guys. Bye.